Hey, Internet. It's your pal Fred Flintstone enjoying some Fruity Pebbles. I love my. Hey, where are my pebbles? Oh, hey, Fred, I'm eating your pebbles. Hey, Bond. Bond, are those my pebbles? Yeah, Fred, I love your pebbles. Hey, Bond, I work hard for those pebbles, Bond. You know how long I work, Bond, for these Fruity Pebbles? You know how long I sit on the top of this damn dinosaur, Bond, to come home to a crying wife, Bond, and a baby who I named after the cereal, Bond? Oh, Fred, it's just some cereal. Oh, it's just some cereal, Bond. Okay. Well, how about this? Oh, Fred, where'd you get a knife? Oh, man, no, Fred, come on, it's just some cereal. Hey, Bond, shh. Hey, Bond, pick up that phone. Oh, Fred, what are you doing? Hey, Bond, just shut up and pick up the phone, Bond. Call Betty, Bond. Oh, Fred. Call her, Bond. Where is this going? Oh, I'm not done. Oh, Betty. Hello. I love you so much. Tell her you love her, Bond. I love you, Bond. Take care of her. Hey, Bond. Don't ever touch another man's cereal, Bond. Every year, Bond, Christmas, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, you're taking my damn cereal, and I've had enough, Bond. Oh, Fred, please. I'm sorry. Oh, you're sorry, Bond? Well, that's all you had to say, buddy. Come on, let's get up and have some Fruity Pebbles. And Bond, bring your own spoon. Oh, God, Fred. Today we are talking about cereal.
Hold on. Stop. I will not. The only thing I'm going to say about what just took place is when Fred pulled out the knife. Y'all know it's Flintstones, so it's not like no metal knife. In my mind, I was picturing this giant bone dinosaur knife,
A rock knife.
pulled out on Barney, and it didn't make the imagery any better.
But anyway, hey, everybody, it is good to see you. I had to do that because it's been a minute. What up, Internet? We are back. We are here. What's going on? It's your favorite podcast, Pop Cult Parent. And, we're going to do something really special for y'all today to bring it all back. We got a special guest co-host, a star performer, a connoisseur of excellentness. But before he introduces himself, fellas, I am one of your hosts, your boy Mark M.F. Jones, and guys, introduce yourselves to the internet. It's been a minute.
What's going on, everybody? This is Niels R.Y., a.k.a.
Oh, and you eating your cereal.
And this is Shannon Smith, aka Mr. Snap, Crackle, and Pop himself.
And we have a very special guest, man. The dopest chef you'll ever meet. One of the dopest podcasters in the nation. The chef Rock Harper. How you doing, bruh? It's great to have you.
I'm good, man. Listen, I'll cash app you later for that intro, bro. I appreciate y'all having me. It's a pleasure, man. I've been listening to the pod since y'all got started, so brother finally came on. Thank you, guys.
No, man, it is a pleasure to have you on here. I was thinking, man, what we met back like 2011.
Man, I guess we on our 10th year anniversary. Yeah. Wow.
I used to work at a company that I don't think exists anymore. But Rock, they gone. Okay, so Rock had what was it? Was it a class? Would you call it a class?
Yeah, cooking class.
Yeah, cooking class, and it was exotic sausages.
That's right.
but
I had a sausage restaurant in Arlington, so we were doing some of the stuff on the menu there.
Yeah, man. It was like what, rattlesnake and elk. And
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had some rattlesnake and elk and yeah, alligator too. I don't know if that didn't make the menu, but I don't think that made it that day. We had some funky stuff on the menu.
yeah, and so that's where we met, and we just been in contact ever since. Yeah, man. No, it's a pleasure to have you. For those who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, pun intended. Rock is a Hell's Kitchen winner. He wasn't just on it. You know, he's not just a fan favorite, which he is a fan favorite. Now that I've been like dipping into Reddit and YouTube comments. You are a fan favorite, bro.
I get love.
Yeah, but yeah, you won Hell's Kitchen, and so like we are honored to have you here.
Yeah, man.
Podcast.
I appreciate that, man. Hell's Kitchen was 07, a little bit before we met, and I've been. I know y'all were talking earlier about the love from Russia, and I've been fortunate, man, to get a lot of love. I can tell when it's like showing heavy in another country because it's all love. So I'm grateful for that. It's still inspiring folks to this day. So yeah, that's dope, man.
Before we jump into the theme of the episode, Rock, can you tell us a little bit more about your current endeavors? Like, can you bless us with a little bit of information? Like, you know, the streets are going crazy about Queen Mothers, about the real chicken sandwich. So, like, we love if you could just hip us a little bit to game on your current endeavors.
Yeah, man. I opened up a restaurant last year, Queen Mothers Fried Chicken. So a tribute to my mom and Black women everywhere in this country. You know, fried chicken, I don't know, we're going to talk some food today, but fried chicken is probably the most polarizing dish in the Black American lexicon, right? And it is one of the most profitable as well. And, you know, it was interesting to me, has been for several years, if y'all recall, if you don't remember, on Hell's Kitchen, I fried chicken for Gordon Ramsay for my finale dish. So I've been proud of it for quite some time. And it's time that we reclaim it, both sort of internally, culturally, and also economically, right? We are not a player. I wouldn't even say a big player, a player at all in the fried chicken game. So I jumped in, you know, fresh out the frying pan into the fire, right into to cook the best fried chicken sandwich ever. Like, we cooking it in duck fat, serving it on brioche buns, all natural ingredients. I ain't gonna name no names, but we ain't got none of them chemicals and all that garbage you find in some of these other joints. So the chicken is damn near organic. But it's local, right? We're in Virginia, and it comes out of Pennsylvania. So it's just really good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of my grandmother and my mother, just good, wholesome food on a plate. It's like a hug in a to-go box. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Queen Mothers, we're in Arlington right now. We're going to be expanding pretty soon, but just trying to get it right. I appreciate you asking about that.
I feel like Al Pacino in Godfather 3, rarely do I ever talk about Godfather 3. Because, like, I've been contemplating and slightly, like, living in a world of vegetarianism. And then Rock talks for a few seconds about fried chicken. And I'm like, every time I go away, you just bring me back in.
Hey, bring me back with the chicken. Doug, I hope you brought enough for everybody.
Yeah. Come on. That's the next show right there. I'm going to have to feed the podcast. We got to figure it out to ship you all to, like, deliver to each individual address some hot chicken, but we're going to figure that out.
Yeah. Hey, and as somebody who has not come close to dipping in veganism, vegetarianism, I went to the restaurant, maybe like a month ago now. There was the first time we met. Yo, we acted a fool. We just try to buy up the whole place. But the sandwiches, everything. It was so good. It was so good.
Thank you, man.
And like legit, like, you know, my wife is like, "What do you want to do for Father's Day?" That was one of them. Like, we ended up changing plans like at the last minute, but one of us was like, "I want to go there and get another chicken sandwich." Like that.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. You know, it's serious when a brother brings his family, man. Beautiful family. The youngin was running around. I said, man, I appreciate that. So thank you, brother. It means a lot.
Yeah. Hey, loved it.
As you all can see, Rock is a excellent, famous chef. And of course, we thought his expertise would be best used on a podcast talking about cereal. the hardest dish to make a breakfast. So the most difficult of all breakfast staple dishes. And the reason why we're talking about cereal is because I believe this year, Fruity Pebbles turned 50 years old. So we're like, hey, why not? Let's talk about our top, favorite 5 cereals when we were kids. I mean, that's part of like kid culture is getting your big bowl of cereal, watching cartoons, watching TV. So the commercials, the mascots, looking at the back of the box, it's staple in childhood. So we're gonna go through our top 5 cereals as children, right? When we were kids,
Yes.
this was our top 5, not our current top 5, because I don't know about y'all, but my list has drastically changed. But yeah, we'll get into that. And Nails, do you want to just let the listeners know how we're going to do this?
Yes, so we are going to approach this like we do all of our Pop Cult Parent top list. So each of us will go over our top 5 cereals. We'll then name our honorable mentions. Ideally, no one will interrupt, but we have been 0 for 3 in that currently. So we'll see what happens. And then after everyone shares their list, we'll talk about the ones that we have that are in common. And we'll make sure we mention a little bit about our number ones. And then we'll just have a bit of a fun discussion about these things that were called to be a complete breakfast and a balanced breakfast, knowing darn well this was like the precursor to diabetes. But that's neither here nor there. We can definitely jump into it.
I think we should let our guests go first.
Oh, man, it's pressure. I'll take it, though. I like the pressure. All right, so just name my top 5, no commentary, and my honorable mentions right after, or that's later?
Yeah, so this is how you do it. You go from 5 to 1.
Got you.
And then when you're done, you'll just name whatever is on your honorable mentions, and then we'll go from there.
Got you. All right, number 5. So this is, I didn't know that we were talking about as kids, but what's probably weird is that like mine hasn't drastically changed, and we'll talk about it later. But my number 5.
That's a problem, right?
Right. I know. I just when you said that, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna look like a weirdo. My number 5 is Raisin Bran, right? Post Raisin Bran, 2 scoops. Number 4 is Honey O's, which is like, I don't see it as much, but it's the OH''S. It's that joint with the clusters in the middle. Number 3, Frosted Flakes, otherwise known in the hood as Frosty Flakes. Number 2, Captain Crunch Berries. Number 1 cereal for me of all time, this has not changed, Honey Nut Cheerios. And my honorable mentions, and we talk about why later, is cornflakes and all of the check. Well, they got some new checks that I ain't too familiar with, but like rice checks, corn checks, Honey Nut checks. My honorable mentions.
Rock, was you like working out and training in your childhood? Because these are like the healthiest of, like, these are all the like Olympic Atlanta 1996 Olympic cereal commercials. Like,
if he said Wheaties, I would have sworn this is gonna be sponsored. I would be like, no, I'm calling bull. If he said Wheaties, I'm like, yo, I need to see some paperwork.
Bruh, the Captain Crunch Berries, I'm looking at all of it. I grew up really poor, and my mother wasn't buying nothing with no color. So the Captain Crunch Berries was something when I went over my aunt's house or my grandma, like, it was a treat. You know what I'm saying? We had to scrape together money and go like to 7-Eleven and buy it behind like it was drugs or something behind my mother's back. So the other stuff, Frosted Flakes, corn flakes, it was all poor people's cereal. You know what I mean? It was just the Raisin Bran. I don't know. I did the 2 scoops commercial got me. It was just,
oh man,
yeah, nah, man. I wish I could say it was. I'm looking at it like, damn, we was really poor, and we might have got the Safeway brand Honey Nut Cheerios. It wasn't, if we got the actual General Mills joint, it was like, oh, mom got a bonus at work or something.
So. I was trying to like the Venn diagram of cereal. It's like, well, Raisin Bran got fruit in it too. So then that's just one thing right there. I don't need to.
Okay, man.
Oh man, that is funny. So, hey, I'll go next because my list is definitely not as healthy. From 5 to 1, and like, yeah, I was I was that fat kid, dog. So just just be ready. Number 5, waffle crisp. Number 4, Cocoa Puffs. Number 3, Apple Jacks. 2, Fruit Loops or Fruity Loops. And number 1, Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puff, peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Oh God. Ooh. Anyway, sorry. Honorable mention, Mark. Let me not interrupt you.
Honorable mention, Frosted Cheerios.
Yes.
Frosted Flakes, and Captain Crunch.
Mark, that's a respectable list. Mm-hmm. And what's even Rock, your list was respectable too, brother. Yeah. No shade.
Mark had a much better childhood than I did, but
clearly.
Oh, his cereal had commercials. Oh.
Mark, that was a respectable list. And like, yes, Shannon, clearly you were influenced by the commercials that came on Saturday morning. Because what you just talked about is a rundown of what was on Fox Kids between 6 to 9.
If it came on after Spider-Man, I was asking my parents for it. So
marketing worked at the Jones household.
Yeah.
Shannon, you want to go next?
Yeah. So mine is a little bit similar where like some of mine was like things I liked as a kid, but then also as adult. So it hasn't changed a lot. So all right, I'll go through mine. Honey Bunches of Oats, number 5. Number 4, Frosted Flakes. Number 3, Honey Nut Cheerios. Number 2, Lucky Charms. And coming in at number 1, Captain Crunch with berries. Captain Crunch with berries at number 1. And my honorable mentions are Fruit Loops, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I'll mention a little more about Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I'll say the honorable mention because the cereal was good. And you ever drink the milk? The milk.
Yeah. Hey, Shannon, I want to
2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Is your honorable mention just the milk?
Just the milk,
just
not
the
even the
cinnamon milk.
Shannon, I want to. We'll have a milk discussion because I think, and I'm willing to die on this hill. Reese's Puff after milk is the best cereal milk that ever existed. But we can talk about that later. That's just
we're gonna have this discussion. We're gonna have this discussion because that's a real legit question. Anyways, here is my list. Number 5, Corn Pops or Pops in general when they tried to get a little bit hipper past 1996. Number 4, Apple Jacks. Number 3, Crunch Berries. Shannon, I don't know what this Captain Crunch with berries is. Crunch Berries. Number 2, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And my number 1 childhood favorite cereal. If you have been a fan of Pop Cult Parent, if you are a member of the Pop Cult, you have literally heard me tell this story arguably for 5 episodes when I talk about how I grab the biggest bowl in the house and I pour half of Fruity Pebbles into the bowl. And that was my regular Saturday morning routine. So number 1 favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles. And my honorable mentions, shout out to Rock, O's. Underappreciated how delicious and amazing it is. And like, you could probably also tell what my financial conditions were growing up because not a lot of people knew about O's. They were in like a certain part of Shoppers. And like, you just had to like go into like this hidden crevice of the cereal. I'll be quiet. Anyways, O's is a dope cereal. Rice Krispie Treats. The Rice Krispie Treats. So not Rice Krispies, but when they added the little marshmallow
treats, when it becomes the Rice Krispie Treat squares in your cereal. Okay.
In the cereal, yep. And then last but certainly not least, Reese's Puffs. Arguably the blackest cereal in existence. So yeah, that's my list.
Peanut butter chocolate flavor.
So to recap, let's everybody say what their top 5 is to recap, because I don't know if my notes were correct. So Rock, you go, and then Mark, and then Shannon, then me, and then we'll have a discussion.
So my top five to 1, Raisin Bran, O's, Frosted Flakes. I thought it was Captain Crunch Berries, but Crunch Berries, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Mark?
And my top 5 was Waffle Crisp, Cocoa Puffs, Apple Jacks, Fruit Loops, Reese's Puffs.
And my top 5, Honey Bunches of Oats, Frosted Flakes, Honey Nut Cheerios, Lucky Charms, and I'm going to say Captain Crunch Berries. I'm going to double down on that until we see the box. But anyway, Crunch Berries. Yeah, Captain Crunch.
And then my top 5, Pops, Apple Jacks, Crunch Berries, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Fruity Pebbles. All right. So looks like we got to talk about a number of things. First and foremost, it sounds like we got to talk about Honey Nut Cheerios. We got to talk about Frosted Flakes. We got to talk about Crunch Berries, or Captain Crunch with berries. And I'm sure we got to talk about what did not make the list, because there are some legendary cereals that none of us mentioned, not even in the honorable mentions. And then we got to talk about this milk competition, because a few of us mentioned Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Reese's Puffs or some other potential milks out there. I would argue the Frosted Flakes milk isn't that bad as well, but neither here nor there. All right, gentlemen, where would y'all like to start?
You want to start with the Honey Nut Cheerios? I know that didn't make my list, but that is currently in my top 5 as an adult. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Agreed.
So that's not a kid cereal.
Well, it has a cartoon bee on it, so.
Honey Nut Cheerios might be my number 1 as an adult.
Yeah,
it might be my number 1. So.
Yeah, I feel like the as an adult, the 2 cereals that I constantly eat are Honey Bunches of Oats and Honey Nut Cheerios. I gotta mention Honey Bunches of Oats real quick. Like, I like them because they're reliable. They're not flashy. I can't make it through without them. I was like, they're like the Tim Duncan of cereals. So like that's why Honey Bunches of Oats. But the Honey Nut Cheerios, once again, that's like a near daily or every other day thing for me. And for me, like, their reasons are, price efficient. Aren't they? They're like technically healthy for your heart. Technically, I don't know. We don't need to.
All this is technically everything here. Let's get it straight. All this is part of a balanced breakfast.
Yeah.
We know, but we all know we just eating the cereal and calling it a day, and getting out the house. But it's part of a balanced breakfast.
And if I can go a little further on that, studying nutrition a little bit. Ain't none of this stuff healthy. So we can throw that out. Yeah, heart healthy, right?
Yeah. Let's go and edit that part out of the podcast.
Right? My bad. I don't want to mess with y'all General Mills sponsorship. Yeah, need to be on here.
Nah, Shannon, Honey Bunches of Oats is like one of my favorite as an adult. Oh, let me ask you, which one you eating? Almonds?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yep, with almonds.
Okay.
Yeah,
I respect Honey Bunches of Oats, but Shannon, they are not the Tim Duncan of cereals. Raisin Bran is the Tim Duncan of cereals.
Shouts to Raisin.
The fact, like, everyone clowns Raisin Bran, but everyone enjoys eating Raisin Bran. Just like Tim Duncan. We all clown Tim Duncan, but he is the greatest power forward of all time. Mm. So to me, that, like, I give mad respect to Honey Bunches of Oats. I will say they're Steve Nash, if we were going to talk about, how they compare to NBA players. But to me, Raisin Bran is the Tim Duncan of cereal.
And let me say this on Raisin Bran, because I'm the oldest. Like, I put it in my top 5, but all Raisin Brans are not created equal. Like, there's Post. I think it's Post. That's Post. Or whoever is 2 scoops, right? There's 2 scoops, whoever that was, and then there's everybody else. Now, I live close to Wegmans. Now, Wegmans has a good Raisin Bran, right? It's $2. You know what I mean? It ain't $4 like the Kellogg joint, whoever that is. But let me tell you, growing up, because the thing about the 2 scoops, the sugar on the raisins is a little more prominent, and I think the bran flakes a little more. But you got some other joints that was basically Wheaties with some. And then my mom used to buy. She would buy the Wheaties or something and buy some raisins and put them in. It's the same thing. Nah, mama.
Okay. So
It's not the same.
It's not the same thing. It's
But
not.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, like the corn flakes and stuff like that. I'm like, you put like a teaspoon of sugar on it. They're like, oh, it's Frosted Flakes now. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, there's
How
not.
dare you?
There's not an Italian tiger on this box, Mom. And I say he's Italian because apparently Tony the Tiger's full name is Anthony. He's Anthony the Tiger. Can I just say, what Raisin Bran, man? That was my dad's cereal. Like we had our stuff, but he was always eating Raisin Bran. I remember he gave me some one day, and I was surprised I liked it. I was like, dang, this is pretty good, raisin cereal. But man, just one day collectively, my body just decided it hated raisins. It's just like, I used to eat, what was the chocolate raisins? Raisinets? Is that what they're called?
Raisinets, yep.
Raisinets, used to love me some Raisinets, Raisin Bran. I'd eat oatmeal cookies. And then like one day my body was like, nope, you hate raisins. And dog, I cannot have no raisins. You give me something with raisins in it, like it ruined the whole dish.
Wow.
Like it can't touch nothing. I just like, I'm anti-raisin.
Oh, wow.
That sucks. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate, Mark.
Yeah, it is. It's the life I live.
Anything else on Honey Nut Cheerios?
One thing about them that I will say is pretty dope though, like even outside like the taste of the cereal. Remember, I think it was like maybe 2013. They had the commercial where the little girl is like, oh, I'm gonna go ask dad, is this good for your heart? Something like that. But anyway, she goes there and then you see like, oh, her dad is black. And so it's an interracial family. And so there was like all this backlash that came from people. They were like, no, like this is not an image you're trying to put out, this and that. And so people were actually calling on them to pull that commercial. And so once like they were like, okay, let me hear what the backlash is. And once they found out the backlash was really just because it was an interracial family, they were like, no, that's ridiculous. And so I'm like, that's pretty dope. I mean, even though it was 2013, people have done a lot worse, So I thought it was pretty dope. 2013, they were like, yeah, this is an interracial family. Cool. Go with it.
You got to respect the gangsta of Honey Nut Cheerios to be like, we can put out an interracial couple and our pockets will not be hurting. We can deal with racism and we will still be fine. That is hilarious.
So that's one of those things. And Shanna, I thought you were about to talk about something else I'll bring up, but that's one of those things. It's like, yo, who has the time for this? Like, y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all mad about a cereal commercial? Don't you got a job or some chores or something? Like,
right.
Something.
White people have time.
Right.
I didn't know if you were seriously asking my but
they got time. They got time.
Yeah. There's a whole group that's dedicated to monitoring cereal commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Today.
No, Shannon, I thought you were actually going to bring up the famous Nelly Honey Nut Cheerios commercial. That's what I thought you was going to bring up.
Nelly the rapper?
Yeah, yes. No, do you remember? Like, it was a couple years ago. Nelly had I don't know what the bee's name is, but like, did the bee rap, or he was just like, "Hey, Nelly, Cheerios,
must be the honey." Oh,
must be the honey. Yes.
I forgot all about that.
Yo, I'm gonna find it. We're gonna put it on the episode.
Good morning, Nelly.
Oh.
Hey, have you ever tried Honey Nut Cheerios?
Love them.
Neat.
Now you, on the other hand, you need some help.
Why?
Look at you. What is that?
You mean my honey wand?
No. Get right.
No, that's it.
Come on. Matter of fact, shirt, shoes, shades.
Wow.
Now that voice.
My voice? What's wrong with my voice?
Yeah, man. B got swag.
Be happy. Be healthy.
That's got to go too.
Sweet.
When I saw the commercial, I was like, "Good for you, Nelly. Good for you. get that cereal money. Like, I was like, oh, this man's washed up. Oh, I was like, yo, good for you. I felt like happy for him. Get that cereal money, dog. I ain't mad at you.
You were the only one, Mark. I was like, wow, Nelly, you made country grammar, Nelly. And this is what we doing now?
It's like, man, sweatsuit hurt me. Sweatsuit hurt me.
Yeah,
So I
really
had to try to recoup.
Oh man. So another one that we all had or that made a good amount of lists is Frosted Flakes. Just in case, you lived under a rock, there's cornflakes. And then there's Frosted Flakes, which essentially is a whole bunch of sugar on the cornflakes. Now, I promise you, it's that simple, but it's also not that simple. Because if y'all were going to ask me what my favorite commercials were, it was Tony the Tiger. And the reason I banged with Tony so hard is because he was simple, he was clear, there was no guilt. He wanted you to eat it, and then he wanted you to seize the day afterwards. And he always left with an affirmation, whether it was to you or to the product that he was pushing. 2 simple words. They're great, and a finger pointed up in the sky. It was effective. It was clear. It was clean. And you know what? He was right. Frosted Flakes are great. They've never not been great.
Listen, they're so reliable, dog. You ain't never lied.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony the Tiger, man.
Yeah.
He'd been one of the most consistent, truthful, reliable entities in our lifetime. I just shout out to Tony the Tiger.
Racially ambiguous, right? Non-conforming racially, like gender, like he appealed to us all, man. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure it was cheap. And can we just get this out in the open? I don't want to be the health nut here, but Frosted Flakes were really, really big in my house. But Slim, I don't even know what the flake is made of. First of all, I've never read the back, but it's just a vehicle for sugar, right? Whatever. It's like a Lay's potato chips. They're just a vehicle for a crazy amount of fat. There's no potato there. It's like a half a potato in a big bag. There's just so Frosted Flakes. The reason why we loved them, you ain't had to sprinkle no sugar. We had the sugar. Like, they were just super. They still, I haven't had them in a while, but they still got to be epic.
You ain't lying, man. Like, I would sometimes just go in the kitchen, grab a handful of dry Frosted Flakes in my hand, and then like go, like they were sunflower seeds, and then just walk around eating my Frosted Flakes, dog.
Yeah. What y'all up to? That's the new sunflower. That's the kid's sunflower seed. When you see a young, just chilling, shaking him in the hand like he's somebody's uncle.
Ain't no milk or nothing, man. Hey, Frosted Flakes was so reliable. And those commercials, like, it was such a formula, but we loved it. It's like, kid sucks at sports, kid not picked for team, or kid scared to try out. This 8-foot tiger, have some cereal. And then, like, the kid is the best one on the team. Like, and we loved it, dog. Like, we might need to have a cereal commercial episode, because there were some dope ass cereal commercials, some epic, like 3-4-parter cereal commercials. But like the Frosted Flake commercials, like, I remember as a kid, when the show was over, being upset, like, man, I don't see no commercials. But Frosted Flake commercial, yeah, you were there. You were there.
Yeah. Nah, their marketing game was crazy. And I mean, the fact that they remixed the old classic, because I mean, cornflakes, we weren't really trying to have that, trying to have the Frosted Flakes. So for me, I love them, and if I were to compare, going back to the analogies here, they were the bad boy / P Diddy of cereals of the 90s, just because they remixed an old classic and just kept it going. But no, I love them.
Good job, Shannon.
I like that analogy. With the shiny suit like Puffin Mason.
Yes.
I will also say, after certain, let's call them activities back in the day, you go home and have some Frosted Flakes, you can call it a night. That's it. Like a big old bowl of Frosted Flakes. In fact, I remember when my uncle was up here staying with us, he he caught me in that process, keeping the Frosted Flakes, and he just kind of looked at me. He's like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing okay, Uncle." And then he just went back upstairs.
Did you stare him dead in the eye as you were getting another spoonful of
We
Frosted
both knew what time it was, right? And it's like, look, it's late. I'm just gonna finish this cereal, and we both gonna go to bed.
Yo, that is a Frosted Flakes commercial. You can.
They're great.
Yeah.
Slow though. Slow.
Oh, these are so great. Like,
Give me like Friday vibes with Craig and Smokey in the kitchen. Yo, side note, I just watched on mute. I watched the Nelly joint. I'm retroactively super proud of Nelly for getting that General Mills money.
Thank you.
I don't know who in the hell they were. Like, who was that marketed towards? Like, we know, like, don't no kids know Nelly. Like, who is this dude in this $1 million home kitchen talking to a bee on an auto tune? Like, it was super weird, but I ain't mad at Nelly.
So let's pivot the conversation. Technically, the most updated name to this box is Captain Crunch's Crunch Berries. So I'll say all that to say, let's just all say that we are all correct. No one is technically wrong. And I think the old name, like the original name, was Captain Crunch with Berries. So let's just all say that we are all right. And to shorten it, we can just call it Crunch Berries to make me feel like I am superior and correct in this entire conversation. I digress.
No, I call it Crunch Berries too. I don't know what this Captain Crunch with berries or whatever the hell is going on here, but it's called Crunch Berries.
So let's talk about Crunch Berries. So, funny enough, Captain Crunch has made an epic amount of different types of cereals. Crunch Berries is probably the most popular ones, but I'm curious. Like, we should definitely talk about Crunch Berries, but what is y'all's experience with Captain Crunch and the Captain Crunch brand cereal? Because what I have learned in this cereal world that we live in and having cereal conversations is that Captain Crunch is actually polarizing. Like, people feel different about Captain Crunch or the peanut butter crunch, or all the other crunches. Of course, we got to talk about, in some way, shape, or form, Oops All Berries. But like, I'm curious, what is y'all journey with this brand?
So I'll mention right quick. So one, does anybody remember King Vitamin? No. So it was a brand. I think it was called King Vitamin. It was something like that. But if I'm not mistaken, it was like an off brand of like Captain Crunch. It was like King Vitamin, and so it looked like Captain Crunch without the berries and everything. So I remember like we would have that, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is good. And then at some point, I actually had Captain Crunch, and I was like, oh no, this is like the name brand. Like this one is dope. So for me, this was the cereal that you always saw as a kid, but depending on your socioeconomic status, you did not get this, but you saw it. You saw the commercials, and then once in a while you had it at a friend's house. And then as an adult, you're like, well, let me make up for lost time. I'm gonna get it with the berries all I want. But no, that's been my experience. I mean, loved it, but I didn't get to have it much as a kid.
with the slight imperialistic white supremacist on the cover.
Yeah, like what? Like, nothing about this, I don't know if y'all can see it, but nothing about this looks appetizing.
Yeah,
Vitamin.
I've never heard of this thing, man. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Your Grace, your cereal.
Your Grace.
I had that, then graduated to Captain Crunch once in a while, then went back to the rivers and lakes I was used to, I guess.
Bro, let me just jump real quick. Like Captain Crunch, I think I got it at my first. It was like drugs. Like I don't say we've all. A lot of people have had drugs in this country. When you first get your first good taste of drugs, you're like, "What is this magic?" And I had Captain Crunch, and I was like, my mom has been lying to me. This brand stuff, and it was magic. And we never. I mean, as an adult, like that's when I first started getting Crunch Berries as an adult, and it changed everything. So I didn't really have access to it. I don't know about the other flavors, Captain Crunch and Captain Crunch berries, and then the Oops berries. I've had several times, but it's got that nice little sweetness. It's got the colors. We didn't have any colored cereal. She didn't play that. No colored cereal. It was like segregated cereal, right? Brown cereal, brown. I think everything.
White only cereal. Racist ass cereals.
No mixing in this house.
On my cereal was black was African American. She did not allow, and I grew up in the Nation of Islam too, so maybe that it's like no white cereal. Frosted Flakes stuck in there. That was not rebellious.
Got cereal in this house.
You mean King Vitamin wouldn't have flown in the house?
King Vitamin would have got a butt whooping. Everybody would have got a whoop. But so Crunch Berries. I mean, it was just for real. Like to this day, even if I buy some cereal, if I just know I'm picking out Crunch Berries, is it? It's just so it's colorful. It's like a rainbow in sugar.
Yeah. Crunch Berries is actually I think I put on my honorable mentions, but it's actually one of my favorite cereals as an adult. Crunch Berries is like when I'm trying to be healthy and I want, like, I got a bad sweet tooth and I want something sweet, but I don't want to go into like cookies and cakes and stuff. I pour me a little bowl of Crunch Berries. I think the first time I saw Captain Crunch was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Have y'all seen that? And I think it was when what's her name? She gets a job and the kids are like, "What about breakfast?" And she gets the big bowl and pours the like Captain Crunch, and the kids like. I love it because all the kids are like, "Man, this mother effer." But then the little boy grabs the bowl. He's like, "I'm gonna eat this."
Yep. I remember that. Yep.
And I remember I was like, "Man, that looks so good." And I never had that cereal until I got a little bit older. And I was like, "Oh, well, this is good, but it's all right." But I don't know how or when I was introduced to Crunch Berries, but it changed the game. It changed the game. I will say though, that cereal will rip your mouth to shreds. Destroy it. It will destroy it. So I don't know. I think because I'm an adult now, I kind of know how to eat. But like as a kid, you have Crunch Berries, you go to school, and then you mess up and have some orange juice, and it just mess up the roof of your mouth.
That's the polarizing feeling I was talking about. Folks really had some issues. And funny enough, it was like drinking orange juice right afterwards because, it accompanied breakfast and your mouth will get tore up. I have an amazing relationship with Crunch Berries, with Captain Crunch in general. Captain Crunch ain't never did me wrong, ever in life. And so like it started off with just regular Captain Crunch. I don't know when I first had Crunch Berry. Actually, no, I do remember. It was at a sleepover at my friend Kevin's house. Kevin was Chinese. He is Chinese, excuse me. Kevin's family had a little bit of money. And Kevin, his people hook him up with like all the new nice stuff. Y'all may remember I talked about Kevin when I was talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He had the dome, whatever that dome was called. What's the dome called again, Mark?
The Technodrome.
He had the Technodrome like new, fresh, because his people's hooked him up. So slept over there, and then he's like, "Do you like Captain Crunch?" And I was like, "Of course I do. I am a human being. Of course I love Captain Crunch." He put down Crunch Berries. He's like, "All right, bet. That's what we're gonna have." I was like, "Oh no, this isn't Captain Crunch. This is something different. There's little balls of colors in there." He's like, "This is Crunch. Yeah, this is Captain Crunch." And when I had it, I was like, "Yo, F Captain Crunch. Like, this is the way to go. Like, this is what life should be. It should be Crunch Berries." And then Oops All Berries came out. And I don't know about y'all, but when I had it, that's when I realized that I would never get addicted to hardcore drugs. Because I had that bowl, and I realized this is too good of a thing. I can never have this again. Like, I am meant to have little Captain Crunch things in there. And like, I can't just have the pure product. I need it mixed with something because this is too good of a thing. And my body is not meant to have this pure of a product. So I say all that to say that Captain Crunch has done right by me. And the reason I am not addicted to hardcore drugs is because of Captain Crunch and that cereal. So there you have it.
I wasn't a fan of the all berry. Like, it was good. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It needs as a chef, if I can bring in my chef expertise, it needed the balance. And now I'm talking like Chad from Top Chef. It needed the balance of salty and, no, I'm joking.
Breaking down these cereals.
I was believing you. I was like, yeah.
I was like, shit.
I think it did the balance, but I was trying to sound like Chef Kiss. That didn't work. So
no, definitely has to be respected in the hierarchy of cereals. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. A few of us mentioned Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I thought only one person mentioned that.
I mentioned it, and then Shannon had an honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
And I think, Mark, you mentioned it milk-wise. Everybody but you, Rock, pretty much.
Yeah.
No shade.
Yeah.
Well, I said to Shannon, I think Reese's Puff is the best milk, because I didn't have it on my list or on my honorable mention, but we could talk about it, because I will say, before we talk about it, I was just looking at lists in general, people's top cereal lists. Cinnamon Toast Crunch consistently number one on a lot of lists.
Yes.
Consistently. So let's get into
it. I would say, while Fruity Pebbles is my number one, because of the emotional attachment I have with Fruity Pebbles and my childhood. Fruity Pebbles equals 90s cartoons to me. They're like one and the same. So like my love for 90s cartoons equates to my love of Fruity Pebbles. But like the cereal that I consistently ate for the longest period of my life was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I ate Cinnamon Toast. I had like a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch that I would consistently eat probably, I want to say 15 years. Like, I probably stopped eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch like right when like I was in charge of now paying my groceries. Like right when like I did not have any ability to get money from family to pay for my cereal. That's when I stopped eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So yeah, I mean, I was a fan. Cinnamon and cereal and sugar and the milk, as Shannon has talked about. Like, that has always been a thing that I enjoyed. Shannon?
Yeah. Nah, I can't remember like my first interaction with it, or but I mean, once again, some of the same things. I just like love that mix. Just the little squares, the mix. It has never done me wrong, as you were mentioning about yours. And yeah, it's just, to me, it's a 2-for-1. The cereal is good, and then I'm like, okay, I ate all the cereal. I got some milk left. Might as well slurp this on up. And it's like the milk is like the milk is like a little added reward. Like, here you go, you made it to the end. Here's a bonus level. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, I gotta. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rock.
I got a hot take, and I just had, my son is just turned 21, and we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is trash. Like,
what?
Yeah, he said.
I agree.
We were ranking cereals. I told him I was going to be on his podcast, and we started talking, and he said it's his favorite. And I'm just like, not only is it not in my top anything, it's at the top of the bottom for me. And I'm trying to, like, why me? And here's what I think. Again, all of my stuff goes back to growing up poor, right? And one of the best poor meals ever is toasted bread with some butter on it, with some cinnamon and sugar, right? Yes. And you toast that joint, and it's like a makeshift waffle, right, in the hood. So I'm like, maybe, because it doesn't taste like real cinnamon. Like, I'm not talking about fancy cinnamon. I don't know, but I just think Cinnamon Toast Crunch is not even not good. I think it is horrible cereal compared with the others. I know that's not popular because I was looking up on the internet. I'm like, I am in the minority here.
Hey, Rock, I'm with you, dog. It didn't make my list. It's not on my honorable mentions. I've had Cinnamon Toast Crunch once in my life, and I didn't like it. And we had it was divisive in our household because my brother loved it. My brother loved it so much that he got the French toast spinoff brand when he came in, which is even worse than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But like, I'm with you, man. I don't know what it is. For me, I think it's the texture, whatever, like the crisp or whatever the flake, the corn flake. I don't like that texture. I think I could deal if that sugar, the cinnamon was on something different. And maybe it was on a puff or like a Cheerio or something. But like, I am not a fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, never have been. I don't like it dry. I don't like it in milk. Is not for me. And I was in the store the other day, and they sell in the spice section. They sell the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like the
They
mix.
sell the spice.
Whatever the cinnamon. But I'm like, yo, just get your cinnamon and your cinnamon sugar, and you call it a day, right? But dog,
Hold on,
this
Mark,
joint is $5.
That is the fattest thing I've ever heard in my life. They are selling. Hold on. No, I can't accept this. They are selling the sugar in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They are selling the actual thing that makes the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Bro, I believe I even posted it on Facebook, and it was like $4.80. It was up there, and I was like, just get you some cinnamon sugar for like $2. But no, you gotta have this Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You gotta have it.
The spice is more expensive than the cereal. But
that's what I'm saying.
But also, what do you even put that on though? Like I got the
your
spice.
Milk? Your milk.
Actually.
So I guess a question: How long do y'all wait before you started eating your Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Because I feel like maybe you don't like it because maybe you put it in there, and as soon as you put the milk in there, you started eating it. You got to give it just a second or two.
No, let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I think that is I thought you were talking about cereal in general, and this goes back to Captain Crunch and O's especially. O's were so hard. If you try to buy, like you got to judge a cereal. Like cornflakes and Frosted Flakes, you got like 38 seconds before it just all turns to hell, right?
Yeah.
But Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I've eaten it soggy. I think I've eaten it a couple times. I try. I love cereal. Like, I love cereal. It still doesn't do it for me. I think it's the square. I don't know like, who makes a square? I'm trying to think. I like Chex, but it's just like this odd, wavy, I don't know what it is. It's like it's a fake piece of toast. I just don't get it.
It don't taste like, that's what cereal should be shaped like. So I don't know. I'm with you, Rock. It's like, This is so weird. Like, it's like it crunches weird. Like you put some Frosted Flakes on a spoon, you take a bite. It's like the way it like stacks on each other and the way it crunches in your mouth. You're like, this is satisfying. Cinnamon Toast Crunch feel like you got a bunch of like little crackers in your mouth, and like you just trying to like close that all off. I don't know. I'm not a fan, man. I'm with you 100%.
So Mark sent us the picture. It's called Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnadust.
Cinnadust.
Great for toast, cookies, ice cream, and more. In case you were wondering, like they wanted to answer this question for you. First, you're caught because you see the brand, and you're like, why? And they're like, I'm glad you asked. We are great for toast, cookies, ice cream, and more. Wow.
Bro, what's the ingredients on this? I just gotta know. It can't be cinnamon and sugar. It's definitely,
what I think?
85 grams of sugar.
Here's what I think. I think at the old Cinnamon Toast Crunch Factory in, I don't know, it's probably upstate somewhere in New England or something. But after they're done making the Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the week, they flip the machine over, and everything that's left, they put in these little containers, put a sticker on it, and send it to the store. They try and use the whole buffalo.
Oh,
I think they sweep it off the floor. I don't being liberal. I think they get a Dyson vacuum, and it's whatever did not make it on the table. Like, we are a sustainable company.
Your druggies?
Eat it.
Your masses? Is this what you want? Take your dirt sugar.
This floor dust. Eat it up. Look at him. Look at him.
God.
Yo, this cinnamon dust is going crazy on the internet. I didn't know this existed, but apparently on YouTube, it's really a thing. Wow. This is like recipes. It's like whole blogger recipes on cinnamon
I'm trying to tell y'all, like, the fact that y'all don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch blows my mind. The disdain that y'all have for Cinnamon Toast Crunch blows my mind, because there is a world where this is the hill that folks would die on. Like, folks would like literally say there is no cereal better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So the fact that y'all are all the way over here, I'm actually entertained, very much so, because I know where the rest of the world is. So like, I'm not even gonna say much.
I get it. And like, I accepted a long time ago. I was like, yo, everyone loves the cereal. So I'm just gonna be cool. You know, I'm not gonna say nothing about it. I'm gonna let people enjoy the cereal. But like, I was not a fan, dog. If the only choice of cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, then I'm not having cereal that day.
It's like being a Republican in D.C. I'm gonna just be quiet and keep it myself. Don't tell nobody. We just go in the voting booth and just walk out.
Yeah. And then you say those comments, those vague, like borderline racist comments, and people are like, I don't know about it. I don't know. Did you hear what's the thing was talking about the other day?
So before we go into some particular questions, one thing I want to throw out there, and you know, there are several other cereals out there in the world that haven't been mentioned, but I do want to name one in particular that was not mentioned. And I want to get on a little bit of a soapbox on why I don't think it was mentioned. Trix was not mentioned by anyone on this list. And here's my thing about Trix. Here's my thing about cereal in general. I'm not really a fan of cereal that comes with guilt. And that's why I wasn't a big Trix fan, because I felt like every bite was perpetuating white supremacy. Like, this rabbit wasn't asking for much. He wasn't asking for much. And like, I don't know what the systems were in playing that cartoon commercial of his, but he was oppressed. I didn't see him eat anything. I saw him strictly going after that cheap ass cereal. And those kids, those white kids, I'll add, would not give him any cereal. And you want me to buy this cereal, to beg my mother for this cereal so I can eat it, knowing well that rabbit is suffering, struggling for a meal every Saturday morning? How dare you? No. So like, I would argue that every bite of Trix is perpetuating white supremacy. And that's why I wasn't a fan of it. In my 5-year-old mind, I knew that this wasn't for me. But I'm curious. I'm curious on where y'all stand with Trix and why it wasn't mentioned.
Yo, I grew up in like a super black household, and this sounds crazy familiar. And I'm just looking on the internet, and I think that we never had Trix. Silly rabbit Tricks are for kids, and it's all coming back to me. I think this might deserve y'all to just do an exploration on this, just a solo pod. But I'm with you right there. It was something fishy about what was going on.
I was gonna say, I feel like agreeing with that. Yeah, something wasn't right. And I really can't even remember how it tasted. So I may have never had Trix, or I had it like once or twice or something. But you know, it was never a sustained thing. But yeah, it always did feel better. Like, silly rabbit, Tricks are for kids. And I'm like, but that's all he wants. Just give him some. That's all he's asking for.
All he wanted was some cereal. All he wanted was some. I'm with you. One, I thought Trix was nasty. I remember I had it at a friend's house, and I never asked for it after that. It felt like.
Was he a white friend, Mark?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. Like, no bull. And I was like, oh, that's the rabbit cereal. Let me have some of that. And dog, it's too sweet. I think it's almost, but not even sweet like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It tastes like sweet tarts and milk or something. And it's like, it's this weird thing where it's like, I feel like it's like crunchy, but it's soft at the same time. And I don't know. I was not feeling Trix, but the commercials used to like low key give me like anxiety, because I was like, yo, just give this poor rabbit some cereal. Like, I would root for the rabbit. I was like, yo, get the cereal, get him, get them, like, like. And I think the only time they let him have cereal was like on Christmas or something. They're like, well, it's Christmas, rabbit, you can have some cereal. He's like, oh, thank you, kids. like I'm like, nah, man, you a grown. First of all, you a grown ass man, rabbit. Like you at least in your 20s, and you like let these little kids like, dog. I'm sorry. Like if I want some cereal, some shit like I know like a bunch of 6-year-olds are gonna tell me I can't have cereal. Like if it has to get a little violent, so be it. But I'm a grown man, dog. Like you ain't gonna tell me I can't have cereal, and you a kid. Like I bought the cereal. That rabbit, that's probably his cereal. He probably bought the shit.
Oh my goodness. He probably did buy it and they took it from him and called it Manifest Destiny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he needs reparations.
Mm-hmm.
In 65 years I read, in 60-something years, he's only gotten his hands on the cereal twice. God dang.
What?
Twice. They said the grandma got twice. He's definitely a slave. I don't know what the hell happened.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Dog, that's some Vanilla Sky, like high society cult stuff where they just like tease this rabbit like this year we're gonna have the rabbit go to Dubai and have him try to get cereal from the kids there, like, and then they just pet one, and then when they're done with them, they just send them to another country. They're like, yeah, okay, we had our fill. Go to New York, rabbit, and he's like, oh, can I have some cereal here? Like, that's disgusting, man.
Like I feel like even Coyote has gotten his hands on Roadrunner like more than twice in 65 years.
Yes. Yes. That is, yo, I thought it was bad, but that's really bad. That's really bad.
40-year-old version got lucky after 40 years. Gosh.
That's upsetting, dog.
Oh.
That's upsetting.
Okay. I'm getting mad all over again. Like, this is a cartoon rabbit, but I'm really feeling some type of way.
I will say, real quick, in Trick's defense, the yogurt is delicious.
The yogurt is good.
I'll say that the yogurt is delicious.
That is touche. But they didn't give him the yogurt either. But it's fine. No. It's fine. We can move on.
Sit your rabbit ass down.
I got one other hot take before we move on to miscellaneous questions, conversations, so on and so forth. The other thing we did not mention that no one on the podcast mentioned is kicks. Yeah. And here's my thing about kicks. And first and foremost, I'm not talking about Berry Berry Kicks. Berry Berry Kicks was fantastic. I love Berry Berry Kicks. It's a great cereal. I'm talking about kicks. And I'm going to say something. And look, I know kicks wasn't bad, all right? But kicks wasn't good. Here's my thing about kicks. If you were a child and you specifically requested Trix at the grocery store in the cereal aisle with your mom, you looked and you saw all the cereals there and you asked for kicks, you grew up to be a snitch. Tell me something different. I cannot rationalize in my head that you did not grow up to be a snitch in some way, shape, or form. Because you saw all that and you're like, mother, this is the cereal I request. Kicks.
Kicks, mother, please.
In the sugar.
Is mom like, can I put a little bit of sugar on that? Oh, no, mother, please. They're kid tested. Mother approves.
Perfectly fine.
Mother, I know that you would value this cereal for me, and I believe this is what is best for me. So please, mother, out of all of these delectable treats, this one right here is what I would like to start off my Saturday morning. Get the F out of here.
Let's read the ingredients together, shall we?
You telling me Kix was right next to Fruit Loops, which was straight up jacked up to get to kids. Like there were everything set up in Fruit Loops was like, bet, we just gonna get Cheerios, we're gonna make them bigger, we're gonna have all the colors in the world, and we're gonna have a cartoon Australian bird all up in your face. Like it is set up for you to buy it. If you pick Kix over Fruit Loops, You a snitch. I don't know when and why and how, but you a snitch.
No, and even the Kicks commercials, they were so basic. They'd be like, "This is Johnny Walker, and we gave him a bowl of Kicks," and he'd be like, "It's all right." And then they're like, "Well, that was Kicks. Go buy it." like that was their commercials. It's not bad. Wow, that was fantastic. Thanks. Kicks. It's in the store. Go get it.
Kicks, the missionary of cereal. Missionary position. It's good.
It's
good.
It's fine.
It's
Gets the job done.
It gets the job done.
Oh god.
Kicks.
Yo, Kicks is still out too, apparently, and they got Paw Patrol as mascots. Okay.
Can't believe that Kicks is still a thing, dog.
Damn, Paw Patrol?
Paw Patrol was like they scored Paw Patrol as mascot.
Shout out to Kicks.
Yeah.
That's a big pull. I respect that.
Broke the marketing budget for 3 years.
So you pulling Paw Patrol?
Well, dog, they got them simple commercials, so they're probably all profit. It's probably like zero overhead. They got that plain orange box. They don't got no cartoons on it. No mazes in the back. It's just the
There is no mascot. There is a tagline. There is a tagline. And it is a boring ass tagline. It's true. Wow.
Dog, Donald Glover has a great Kicks cereal bit.
My mom was a Tupperware woman. And my mom goes over to the cabinet and does the most devious thing I've ever seen anyone ever do. She takes a big Tupperware container meant for cereal, like one of those big things that you pour and stuff, opens it up, takes a quarter of the Cocoa Puffs, like just the top, like 1/4 the Cocoa Puffs, pours it in there like, brrr, then takes a big old box of Kicks, pours like the whole thing on top of it, shakes it up, so like the ratio is like 13,000 Kicks to one Cocoa Puff. Like it was like one spot of brown. It looked like a Kanye concert. That's what it was. It looked like a Kanye concert. She takes the box and slides it across the table and is like, there you go. And my brother's like, and continues to pour himself a bowl. You bitch. How could you ruin this to me? Like crying, but he still ate it. That's how much kids love sugar. That's how much my brother loved sugar. He was an addict. He could have been like, fuck this, I don't need this. Forget it. He was like, no, I still want it. I still want it. This is like,
Yes. Oh, man. Whew. That messed me up. All right, y'all. The last thing I got, and then I will get off my soapbox, is we definitely should talk about a lot of these commercials, just, glimpse in a lot of these commercials. Because I will say there's a reason, Mark, that I said Reese's Puffs is the blackest of all these cereals. I remember Reese's Puffs cereal, and part of the reason I was attracted to Reese's Puffs, besides, of course, chocolate and peanut butter being one of the greatest combinations ever, is I remember, man, so I was at my friend Paul's house, and his dad shows up, and he's like, y'all ever had Reese's for breakfast? He's like, what? For breakfast? I remember how that commercial went. And I was like, I want that. Like, whatever they're selling, whatever they're talking about, that was set up just for me.
He's like early 90s New York, too. He's like, y'all ever have Reese's for breakfast, B? He's like, in Tim. He's like, what? Yo, you bugging for breakfast, Reese's?
Yes.
It's like, yo, why are you going so hard, Reese's Puffs? Like, it's chocolate and peanut butter. Like, take it down a notch. Like, you know when you watch like the BET Awards and like all the other commercials that just get really black, like McDonald's commercials be having like that R&B music in the background, and like Sprite because you don't see Sprite sold anywhere else but on BET. It always has like hip hop music. Like Reese's Puff was like, "Now we're taking this concept to Kids WB on Saturday morning." Like,
and it wasn't like there's a lot of blackness in these cereal commercials. Like before that, we said Tony the Tiger was black, but Tony could have been really anything. His name is Anthony, so we just deducing that Tony probably was a brother and he was athletic.
He was voiced by a white guy, by the way.
Whatever. So it's Piccolo, a black man. And then like there was, I don't know if y'all remember Sugar Bear from Golden Crisp.
Yeah, he was black. There's no
Sugar Bear was black. Yeah. Like Sugar Bear, probably the coolest out of all of these little characters. The cereal wasn't that good though, but I legit bought the cereal 1 or 2 times off the strength of Sugar Bear. And so we had that, and then Reese's Puffs comes out with the blackest commercial ever. My respects and my money went to y'all.
Still remember that rap, dog? Reese's Puff, peanut butter chocolate flavor. Like, it was dog. But yo, Nels, I feel like with Sugar Bear, I feel like he was the opposite of the Trix Rabbit. Because if I remember those commercials correctly, weren't people trying to get his? And he's like, "Can't get enough of that sugar, Chris." And he just like, "Oh, ease up off me," and he just like kind of slide out of situations. But he was all
swagger got him the cereal. He pretty much walk into the spot and be like, "So I'm gonna get that cereal," and everybody try to stop him, and he would just casually walk and use his swagger to push everyone out of the way, and then he would just casually eat the cereal. Yes, he was the antithesis of Trix and the Trix Rabbit. Yes.
But I do think Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs, the milk, that is the best. Like, they should sell that milk, how they sell the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Dust. They should sell the Reese's Puff milk separate.
Yo,
that milk is delicious.
Shouts to so there's this chef named Christina Tosi, I forget. She used to work for David Chang, and she has like this place called Milk Bar, and they have this. They started this thing called cereal milk mousse, right? And so they take cereal milk. As a matter of fact, I worked at another restaurant that used to serve cereal milk. It was not worked at. One of my partners had a restaurant. It was a donut restaurant. They would serve along with donuts. They would serve cereal milk, but just that's just a long way of saying cereal milk is absolutely pretty much epic. Like no matter what, I think it's one of the best parts of the bowl.
Oh yeah,
yes,
absolutely. So I know I might be in a minority here, but so I don't like Reese's peanut butter cups, and so therefore I have never had Reese's like Puffs cereal because I just assume it's gonna be similar. So I think that was just a way of saying, everybody, you can go ahead and send your hate mail to Shannon@gmail.com.
Shannon, man.
Hold on. Shannon, do you like peanut butter?
So that's the thing. Peanut butter, yes, but I don't really like it in like candies and stuff.
No. Hold on. You like peanut butter? Yes.
Yeah, like I have it on peanut butter and jelly.
You like chocolate?
Yes, I like both of those.
You don't like them together?
Have you had Reese's Cups, the candy?
No. Well, yeah, I have a couple times. But what I was saying was I had like a time or two, and I was like, I don't really like these. And so, because it's something weird. I think it's like peanut butter flavored candies and things like that I don't like. I don't know what it is.
Shannon,
So sorry to be a downer.
You just took the whole podcast in like a "we shall overcome" moment. Like,
Reese's peanut butter Easter eggs are some of the greatest things that ever have blessed this earth. Like, okay, I can understand not liking Reese's all the time.
No,
but like,
sorry, please continue.
No, you can't understand.
But just not to like Reese's peanut butter cups at all. Like,
yeah. So that's what I was automatically. I was like, there's no way that their milk is better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk. But it's because
here's my problem with what you're saying, Shannon. Shannon, I've known you for a long time. I really respect you. And I almost anytime you say something or offer your opinion about something or anything, I take it as gold. And so now I'm questioning over 10 years of friendship. I am questioning, like, I can't believe I've never known this, or I must have heard it and pushed it away. Because I did not want to change my opinion of you as a man, Shannon. And now I'm questioning everything. What?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. But you know, hey, you can still trust me, guys. I'm still credible.
I feel like we gotta make a joint effort. We gotta start treating Shannon like the Trix Rabbit. And anytime he eats cereal, just one of us should like, no cereal for you, and we just leave like. And we only do it with cereal. Nothing else. No, he could have a sandwich. He could have a steak, a hamburger, but don't catch him and eat cereal. All right, no cereal.
Yo, I went into the store the other day. I was feeling horrible. I was like, I'm gonna mess my body up with some junk food and feed my brain. And I wanted some candy. I hadn't had candy in a while. Searched like Reese's were the only thing. I brought like 4 packs. I absolutely love Reese's peanut butter cups. I have never had the cereal. And as soon as we get off this podcast, Wegmans closed at midnight. I'm going to the store. I've never had, I don't know why. I see it. I think that's that poor mentality. I think in my mind, I still can't afford it. And my mother's telling me, you better get your eyes away from that box, but I'm going to get some. It has to be epic. I can't imagine it not being epic.
It's as good as you think it might be.
Okay.
It's that good.
It's
so good you actually don't think you should be buying it.
Wow.
Like the thought of it existing. And it's not like there was like an Oreo cereal. And that was like not as good as Oreos. This is as good as Reese's.
I'm excited, and I'm not even gonna smoke any weed. Like I'm not gonna. This is exciting.
Cereal,
right?
Yeah, it's very underappreciated. I should, you know what? I'm gonna switch my list. Like Applejack's, I'm kicking you off. I am now promoting Reese's Puffs. Like it was a fantastic cereal, and I'm probably doing it to extra spite Shannon for his.
I was gonna be like. Hey, in solidarity, I may try some. Not tonight. Maybe in the near future. I may try some just to be like, let me revisit what I haven't tried in, I don't know, over 15 years or something. Just see if it's changed. We'll see.
Shannon, it's delicious dry. Like you could take a handful, just like the Frosted Flakes, like the sunflower Reese's Puffs, grab you a scoop, and go upstairs about your day. Like, dog, it is one of the best cereals out there.
No, Shannon, don't get it twisted. It's not good for you.
Oh yeah,
it is bad for you.
It's like, chocolate cereal, Shannon.
It's chocolate cereal. It's chocolate and peanut butter cereal. This is not what you should be eating on a regular basis. It's not good, but it's good. So
especially at 6:00 in the morning.
I have some candy for breakfast. All right.
You're legit just eating Reese's candy in cereal form. That's not good for you.
With some milk.
With milk.
That's not the way to go. Speaking of which, I never liked Cocoa Puffs because of those commercials. Like, I never wanted to go cuckoo for anything. Like the drug commercials in the early 90s were very effective to me as a child. Like, this is your brain on drugs. It went to the point where I'm like, no, I don't want Cocoa Puffs because how that man is reacting is just like what they were telling me about drugs. I don't want it.
See, Nels, here's the thing about Cocoa Puffs. It was in the marketing, right? So I remember a Cocoa Puff commercial, and it was like, yo, and then when you don't, your cereal, chocolate milk. Waiting for you, like they did you a favor. They're like, it turns the milk chocolate. I was like, damn, I can have chocolate milk and cereal. Like that's what it was for me. But I'll tell you this: Cocoa Puffs, it gets old real quick. Like after your like 5th bite, you're like, I'm kind of over this cereal. It gets old really quick.
Yo, can we speaking of puffs, and again, everything for me goes back to poverty. But my mother would come home with this freaking, I ain't gonna curse, but this blankety blank wheat puffs. Have y'all ever had this?
Wheat puffs.
Slim, that's disappointing, but it lets me know the levels of poverty we were in. And also she was healthy like early on, like when it wasn't popular. But wheat puffs were just as you think they taste, just like they sound. It's wheat, it's puffy. And here's the thing, here's how you know it was trash cereal. It came in a plastic bag like a freaking, you know what I'm talking about. It was literally, I think they might have had rice puffs too. It was no sugar. This was the anti-sugar factory. They didn't even give it a box. It was probably 82 cents. And you could eat 6 bags and you would still be hungry. And it tasted like little sponges. I mean, you want to talk about trauma. I'd never puff anything.
No child should be eating that.
Nah.
No child should be eating that. That was cruelty.
Yes.
In case y'all were wondering what, like, just to help with the visualization, imagine Golden Crisp with no sugar. That is what Rock is describing.
Exactly.
And Golden Crisp alone wasn't that great. So imagine it with all of its like unhealthy nutrients gone. It was just a puffy wheat thing that kind of really didn't dissolve in the milk. It kind of just floated around in the milk. And so you were eating like styrofoam.
Styrofoam.
Yes.
That's it.
Brother. Sorry you experienced it.
Rock, I don't know. I mentioned I had a babysitter when I was younger, when I lived in Georgia. Her name was Miss Thelma. And I remember one time Miss Thelma gave me some cereal that was just in a bag. And I was like, why is there words and stuff on this bag of cereal you give it to me? And it was one of the worst cereal experiences. I don't remember what it was. I was pretty young. I was probably like 4 years old. But she took out this, and it wasn't even like a cereal size bag. It was like this big dog food bag. And it had like cereal. It was a clear, like see-through big old dog food bag. And she poured me some cereal. And it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
You was thinking, it did not absorb milk. That was the other, like we in the hood, you got to trick yourself. Like we used to put baking soda in the scrambled egg or baking powder to fluff them up to make sure to think we had more than 2 eggs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Flip the butt end of the stretch thing. Puff wheat it just floated. You could pour it just floated.
You gotta eat like layers of cereal before you can get to the milk.
Oh God!
You're like, damn, I know I poured some milk in this thing.
Then when you drink the milk, it comes up tasting like Metamucil or something. It's just like, yo, this is not the Cocoa Puffs milk.
Oh God!
I would just ask, did y'all ever do any cereal mixing?
All day. Mm-hmm. I almost can't eat a single brand. Like right now it's Raisin Bran and Honey Nut Cheerios. It's like I have to proportionally pour them out.
Rock, that sounds actually, when you first said it, I was like, I don't know. It's Raisin Bran and Honey Nut Cheerios, but now when I think about it, I was like, that might be all right. I hate raisins, but that might be all right.
They give you a little bit of, it's a little bit of fun, and it's a little bit of, health. It just makes you feel good about it. But, a little bit of crunch, it works.
I would argue Honey Nut Cheerios can fit with almost any cereal.
Yeah.
It can complement almost any cereal. Not like the super fruity cereals, but, we should have graduated by that point. But, like, Honey Nut Cheerios can usually fit like any cereal. I would argue Frosted Flakes, it depends on the type of cereal, but like that's a good complementary cereal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I mixed recently, but it was just like, I just finished this one, but it's not enough, to be enough by itself. So let me pour in another one. Like it wasn't because I thought they would go great together, but it was Honey Bunches of Oats and Honey Nut Cheerios. And I was like, this ain't horrible, but like it's not an intentional mix. It was out of necessity.
I would mix Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks and be like very disappointed because they're essentially the same cereal. It's just one favors apple. I was like, well, this just tastes the same. Now I got cinnamon in it.
Yeah.
Did y'all add fruit to your? I like a bananas in mine sometimes. Did y'all add any additional fruit?
Nah, man, I was very conservative with my cereal eating, dog. And that's that's what I'll say about Apple Jacks. I used to get excited when they'd be like, "Oh, Fruit Loops got a blue one. We got or it's a green one."
Yes.
Oh man, you know,
Yes.
dog. I wanted consistency from my Apple Jacks. I don't know what it was about Apple Jacks. Don't put no new shapes in there. Don't add no marshmallows. Just give me Apple Jacks. So like, I was always just very conservative with my cereal eating.
Yeah, I just legit didn't want to tease. Like, I didn't want any mystery or any lore in the fact of what I was doing. I was eating sugar for breakfast. Like, I didn't want any misconstrued on what was going on. Like, there was no bananas, there was nothing there. It was sugar for breakfast.
Nah, every now and then I think it might have been like some raisins or maybe like strawberries if we were feeling fancy that day. So maybe toss some of those in.
Hey, Rock, I got a question. What's because I've seen you like make like a top like quality meal using ramen noodles.
Yes.
Like, have you made something with cereal and just took it to the next level and cereal was the main ingredient?
So I don't know if I've taken anything to the next level, but shouts to cornflakes for, I'm a fried chicken guru. Cornflakes have doubled. As a matter of fact, they sold a fried chicken batter like product like Cinnadust. But cornflakes are routinely used in the South in fried chicken breading, so either by themselves or with the flour. And I also have used Rice Krispies in the past in the fried chicken flour. But and I stole that, and I'm gonna say stole because she has to be lying. I was inspired by it. No, I stole literally Christina Tosi's idea and put it on my menu. So I did like this cereal milk white chocolate mousse thing. And I did different cereals as crumble. I forget what we used. I know, we used cornflakes, but then we tossed them like, I'm going to say this, it's funny. We tossed them in Cinnadust and then we, a little butter and we baked it and it crisp up and it's just like this great cereal, right? You want to eat it, but then we put that on the mousse. So I literally stole her idea and put it on my menu and it was a great seller. So yeah, that's my claim to fame. Something I pilfered.
You talk smacked about Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Just throwing that out there.
And he slide that one in there.
Yeah. And then
don't think we didn't notice.
And made
I'm a salesman.
Meal out of it.
I'm a salesman. I grew up not eating pork. I will put a piece of bacon on a sandwich in a second. It ain't about me.
Oh man, I'll say I've done a lot of confessions on this podcast. It's been therapeutic. The biggest fat boy thing I've ever done in my life was I would make Reese's peanut butter sandwiches. And so let me walk you through this sandwich. I would take bread, toast it, put peanut butter on both sides, right? Put my Reese's peanut butter puffs on one piece, and then I get a scoop of Nestle Quick and doused it over. Doused it over the Reese's peanut butter puffs, put the other end on top, and I go to town. It was one of the fattest things I used to do in my life. It was delicious, dog. It was fantastic.
Oh no, it sounds delicious, Mark. It sounds delicious.
I just want to know, standing in the kitchen, how you came up with that. Like, what was the thought process like?
Rock. First of all, okay, Rock. I was a fat kid in the 90s, right? Anytime kids are alone in 90s movies, what they're like, oh, let's put fucking jelly beans on our pizza. So, I was inspired by the ridiculousness I'd see on TV. The Ninja Turtles were notorious for putting the craziest stuff on their pizza. So like, fat kid, my idols are putting crazy stuff on their pizza. I was just like, look around. Like, how could I take this to the next level? How could I like peanut butter toast. What if I put some cereal?
Mark, I have to ask you, when was the last time you had that sandwich?
So, no. All right, bet. So I make it now, right? But I make it healthier. I make it healthy. So look.
Oh, God.
I get listen. I get like the whole, like the natural organic granola, and I crumble it up and I put it on my peanut butter toast on one side, and then I make it, and that's really good. That's a good sandwich.
Wait, what about the Swiss
What
Cocoa?
about that?
I got kids, man. I ain't trying to, like, I'm trying to live, dog. I'm a big fun, dog. I'm trying to live.
Use organic senna dust.
Like, use some Nutella instead of peanut butter.
I appreciate you trying to make a healthier version of your fat boy addiction. That's wow. Mark, I've known you for a long time. I've seen a lot of your fat boy moments. I have never seen that, and you are right. That is the most fat boy thing you've ever done. If that is truly something you have done, wow.
No one ever saw me eat that sandwich. I ate that. That was like when I was at the top of my latchkey kid game, and like I'd spend the summers at home alone. That was a summertime sandwich, fellas. When mom and dad went to work and little brother went to daycare, that's when that sandwich would come out. Otherwise, I couldn't eat that sandwich during the school year. My parents see that? No, come on.
Yo, what's crazy is that you knew in the moment, this shit ain't right. I cannot share this with nobody.
But he said, I'm not going to do better. I'm just going to make sure y'all see me do wrong.
That was your first entry in the porn. That was your first. Like, I should not be doing this shit.
Can you imagine? Like, I can only imagine if your mom came in and just saw the kitchen and tried to deduce what happened. Peanut butter, bread, Reese's. What was it? Nestle
Cocoa.
Quick. What happened? What occurred here? Oh,
Hey,
my
man.
goodness.
When you get bored, you start creating stuff.
I made a lot of hood sandwiches growing up.
Yes.
Never in my mind did it occur. I've had a sugar sandwich, but never in my mind did it occur to do what you did.
Well, I think the socio-economic status in which you grew up in was quite. If I did that, my mom would say it was weird. I would get a beating because I wasted too much money on one sandwich. That cocoa was for Christmas, boy.
You should have poured yourself a glass of milk and had chocolate milk. The hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, man.
That was a rich, shameful sandwich.
Yeah, that makes me think you had too much money. That had to be.
No, like, we lived on military bases. You know, the commissary, like, it is good. And as far as I know now, you don't pay rent on a military base. So there's probably some disposable income in the Jones family when it came to to cereal, man.
I'm so glad that Pop Cult Parent exists, so you could have gotten that off your chest. I don't know how long you were holding that in.
Hey, hold up. I'm not ashamed, though, all right? I stand by my Reese's.
Oh, no shame, brother. No shame. I'm just happy that the world knows now. I'm happy that our international fan base knows about that sandwich. So we can all learn and get better from it, brother.
Someone's going to write in.
I'm humbled that you have shared that with us. Thank you.
Someone's going to write in. I made this sandwich and it changed my life. Mark's sandwich saved my life. He saved my marriage.
Pop Cult, please let us know how this sandwich has affected your life. Oh, man.
Yo, I'm thinking about it in my head. The only thing missing, I love peanut butter and jelly, especially with crunchy peanut butter. So it's like the texture you got from the cereal. It's missing the gel, like it's missing the fruit component. But I'm not gonna try it. But I'd be curious to see what your listeners say.
Can I just point something out? I got the winner of Hell's Kitchen to think about my creation and be like, you know, this could work. I just want to lay that out there. All right? I'm not crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm not crazy.
Because you're my brother and I love you, man. I'm just trying to bring it on home for everybody that there's some redeeming factor in the sandwich. You were creative. You were Mark. It's not something I would make. You were creative, and let's have a bite. Mark goes home.
I feel like one of two things is going to happen with this sandwich. We will either have our listeners be like, yes, this is how it saved my marriage, or in like a couple years, it'll be like, did you try Mark's sandwich? You may be compensation. So good.
Popcorn Parent isn't liable for any and all things that are tried.
Here's the 2021 to 2023. Did you have a Reese's peanut? Oh man. Oh.
All right, gentlemen. God's sake. Gentlemen, anything else y'all want to discuss before we wrap up the episode?
I will say, and Rock, if you could speak on this, like I think there is some type of like economic hierarchy, especially like with kids, like when it came to like your snacks and your cereals. I don't know if anyone watches Craig of the Creek.
Of course.
There's a character on there. His name is Xavier, and he is the king of the creek because his family has all the good snacks. And so, like, Rock, did you ever feel like, man, would like these kids get to have this cereal, or like, you know, were you ever like envious of like some of the cereals that you heard about?
Every day, literally. You know, I mean, my mother, God bless her, she is wonderful, and we grew up great. But when I would go over, like my cousin, we grew up in public housing, and my cousin lived right there on the corner, and they just had like all the cereals. My aunt, she had foster kids, and she ran like a daycare, so she had like, I don't know, it was WIC or whatever, but she had like 60 boxes of the great cereal, a bunch of milk. She used to freeze milk. And I was like, yo, how your mom freezing milk, Slim? How y'all got so much milk and I'm putting water on cereal? And they were like, nah, you know, sure, she got it like this. So anyway, everybody's house had better. Nobody came over my house ever and was like, yo, y'all got them snacks. It was like, yo, when can we leave and go over my crib and get a cracker? And I grew up in Old Town Alexandria, where like literally you got public housing, and in a couple blocks later, you had what are now $1 million homes. So I grew up around like, and not even like it was segregated. It was like, I mean, it was segregated, but it was like the kids that grew up in these affluent homes were my friends. So they wouldn't come over my house, but it was like Remember the Titans. Like I'd go over there, but they wasn't coming over my joint. But yeah, everybody's pantry was I mean, mayonnaise and sugar sandwiches on Jamaican cocoa bread was a norm in my house, and everybody else was eating freaking cocoa. The freaking Reese cup sandwiches?
Dog, I just got this image from Remember the Titans. Is like, where are you going? I'm going to the Bird. Go to Rock's house. Oh, they don't have. He doesn't have frosted mini wheats. What would your father think? See you at the house with no snack. Look, Bob, you just met him. If you just try his cereal.
It's Wheat Puffs. Oh, God.
Just give it a chance, Mom.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
What your father think? And it has nothing to do with race. It's all about rock snacks he got at home. It has zero to do with race.
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Gentlemen, thank you. Rock, thank you so much. I'm closing the episode. Rock, thank you so much for joining us and having a fruitful conversation about our childhood cereal. We are so blessed and thankful for you coming in. Please know that you can come back anytime.
Oh man, this is
We got
dope.
all the food on the planet that we can talk about.
Thank
We
you,
should
man.
probably talk about hood sandwiches next. Like, I think there's some fun conversations we can have about that.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I love the show, man. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. It's a very fun, educational show, and y'all had a blast tonight, man. So thanks, guys, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, bro, so much, man.
Yeah, so great to have you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We have a new episode. Well, we're going to try to have new episodes every month or so. You know, it was the summer. We have things to do. We all have kids. Hence, Pop Cult Parent. I digress. Find us on all social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULTPARENT. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.
Peace.
Yep.